You better listen and learn from experienced professionals like us. Marriage is very difficult, and men, don't follow them with softness. If not, they will make a fool of you and treat you like trash. A long time ago, in the lively gossip-steeped city of Jos, tucked in the noisy heart of the northern markets, stood Mama Sade's salon, a small shop, but the drama inside would power a whole Nollywood season. The salon sat right in the middle of the market, where every eye could see everybody passing and every ear could hear everybody talking. And believe me, it was always full to the brim, packed with married women squeezing themselves on tiny stools, wrappers tied high, mouths ready for action. Now, besties, I know you may think these women came to fix their hair, make their nails, do pedicure or manicure, but lie, forget hair, forget nails. They came for something more precious. Gist. I mean fresh gist, hot gist, gbas gist. Mama Sade's shop was the headquarters of Premium Amebo on Dabiru Street. If a fly hummed suspiciously in someone's house, Mama Sade's salon would hear it first. If a husband sneezed twice in his parlor, they would analyze it inside the salon before afternoon. Every day, women trooped in, not to beautify their bodies, but to beautify their spirits with the latest gossip. You know that woman, the one that drives that red Camry, one would start, adjusting her wig like a CNN reporter. Are you talking about Madame Ruka, the banker? Another would jump in. That's one. The first one would say, lowering her voice like she was opening a classified file. I heard she's the one feeding her husband though. Oh, wow, someone would scream, pressing her chest. You don't mean it. So, that's how Oyibo Pepe husband no get work. My fellow woman, that woman is going through a lot. Another would join, shaking her head like a council leader. And the worst part, he's a terrible womanizer, jumping from one skirt to another like a grasshopper. And just like that, in less than 10 minutes, they would dissect somebody's marriage, roast it, fry it, and serve it hot with pepper and onion. And before I forget, they didn't only dissect people's homes, oh no. They also offered premium marriage advice, delivered with full confidence, zero shame and experience. There, you would hear things like, God forbid I tolerate someone like that. That can never be me. I will never allow a man treats me like a pushover. I can't be the one working while a man roams around jobless all day. To fiakwa. God forbid. Another would reply, snapping her fingers as if chasing demons away. But the funny thing, and I'm telling you the truth, many of those same women were suffering worse inside their homes. Only that nobody had caught them yet. It happened that Mama Sade had an assistant, a young unmarried lady who worked with her like shadow and owner. Her name was Kemi. Kemi was not just beautiful, she was dangerously beautiful. Smooth chocolate skin, big shiny eyes, a smile that could calm quarrels in the marketplace. And her hands, those hands were gifted directly by heaven. Kemi could braid a hairstyle so neatly that even angels would hiss in jealousy. Truly, she was Mama Sade's most treasured asset. People did not come to the salon for decor or perfume or comfort. They came because of Kemi. Her braids were the best in the entire market and everyone knew it. Kemi had worked with Mama Sade for over 5 years. 5 solid years of plaiting hair, hearing gist, swallowing stories and pretending not to listen. But here was the problem. In those 5 years, Kemi's ears had suffered. Those married women had filled her soul with stories. Terrible stories about how wicked men could be and how marriage was a battlefield without uniform. Even when Kemi tried to mind her business and focus on the hair before her, one auntie would always drag her attention. Kemi, you better listen and learn from experienced professionals like us. Marriage is very difficult and men, don't follow them with softness. If not, they will make a fool of you and treat you like trash. Another would chime in, snapping her fingers dramatically. You see, with all this your fineness, you must open your eyes well. Use iron fist to handle their nonsense. If you like, be soft, now you go cry you. And they would continue like that. They would lecture and lecture until even the mirror inside the salon was tired. Some women were even generous enough to share their personal experiences, as if spraying salt on fresh wound. And Kemi, poor girl, didn't even know these women were planting seeds inside her heart. Seeds of fear, suspicion, seeds of men are terrible. Their words always followed her everywhere. Terrible experiences, terrible stories. Look at beautiful Ada, one would whisper, with all her packaging. She married a he-goat. Just 3 years down the line and she looks like her grandmother. I know Ada before. Ada was so beautiful. Kemi would swallow spit. Little by little, these guys that advised these women shaped her mind, formed her beliefs, built her expectations. And just like that, without warning, Kemi made a quiet vow inside her heart. No man was ever going to treat her like trash or make her miserable in marriage. Never. And for years, my dearest besties, Kemi had been so unlucky when it came to finding a good man. It was almost like village people were pursuing her love life with a cutlass. Kemi was beautiful. She was very, very beautiful, and her shape, the kind of shape that made married men tighten their belts and single men forget their names. She had dated plenty men in the city. Fine ones, tall ones, rich ones, broke ones, church boys, gym boys, soft, just name them. But somehow, every relationship always scattered like biscuits inside a child's pocket. There was always something she was searching for in a man. Something she couldn't even explain. But can you blame her? She was raised by a single mother who had been abandoned by the man who got her pregnant. Add that to the endless tragic marriage stories she heard at Mama Shade's salon. Fear will wire anybody's brain. So Kemi became scared, really scared, of ending up like the women in those stories. Therefore, anytime she spotted even the tiniest red flag in a man, even something as insignificant as the way he chewed, Kemi was already packing her bag and running out of the relationship. In the past 2 years alone, Kemi had dated over 15 men. And guess what? All of them had faults. One evening, her friend visited and almost fainted when she heard the latest update. Kemi, you mean you've broken up with that guy? That one too, again? Ma asked, her eyes wide like someone hearing national news. Yes, so, Kemi replied dramatically. Can you imagine? He invited me to come over for a cooking date in his house. Do you know what that means? That is a clear sign that if we marry, he will turn me into a slave. Ma blinked. But I don't see anything wrong with a cooking date. Couples do it now. And that is how they end up in miserable marriages, Kemi fired back with confidence. Ma sighed, hands on her waist. Kemi, you are lucky you have plenty men chasing you. Look at me, I hardly ever see one approach me. You better choose one now and stop finding faults. In all the men you meet, no man is perfect. Don't let someone's experience becloud your sense of judgment. Biko, let's discuss something else, Ma, Kemi said, waving it off like unripe plantain. When I see the right man, I will know. So far, all the men I've met are not different from the type discussed in Mama Shade's shop. Trust me, I won't take that from any man. And just like that, Kemi would always brush off the conversation anytime it came up. That Saturday afternoon, Kemi wasn't even dressed to impress. Just a simple dress, and her hair tied in a quick bun. She had rushed to a shopping mall to pick a few things, nothing serious, just body cream, lip gloss, and the perfume she had been eyeing for weeks. She pushed her shopping cart lazily down the cosmetics aisle when a tall shadow blocked her way. "Excuse me," a deep, calm voice said. Kemi looked up and almost forgot how to blink. The man standing before her was fine. Not the Lagos city kind of fine, no. Not even Instagram filter fine. But heaven pressed play and created this man fine. Tall, charming, full beards, eyes that smiled before his mouth did. He chuckled when he saw her staring. "Are you thinking of buying that perfume?" he asked, pointing to the bottle in her hand. Kemi snapped out of her moment. Yes, maybe." He said, gently taking the bottle from her. "This one is good though, but very overrated. Try that one instead." He reached for another perfume, spraying it on a tester strip, and held it out to her. The scent hit her nose and almost melted her bones. "Wow, this is nice, really nice." "Exactly," he smiled. "I am Jide, by the way, part-time perfume advisor, full-time gentleman." Kemi burst into laughter, real laughter, the kind she hadn't released in a long time. They ended up walking through the mall together, from perfumes to skincare to chocolates she didn't plan to buy. Jide talked in a warm, easygoing way, and Kemi found herself enjoying every sound. It felt like she was chatting with someone she had known for years, not someone she just met beside body sprays and lotion. When they reached the checkout, Jide casually helped her lift her bags before she could even refuse. "Let me carry them for you," he said. "I insist. You can't be this fine and still stress yourself." Kemi rolled her eyes but allowed it, secretly enjoying the attention. They walked outside, chatting, laughing, teasing like two old friends, reunited after years apart. She hadn't felt this light, this free, this safe in a long time. When Jide offered to give her a ride home, she shook her head gently. "No, Mr. Gentleman, that's how it starts. Next thing you know, I'll be cooking jollof rice in your house." He laughed so loud that people turned to look. "Fair enough," he said. "At least, give me your number. I would like to see you again." Kemi hesitated for half a second, old fears rising, but something about Jide made her heart soften. So she gave him her number. He saved it immediately, read her name out loud like he was tasting it, and flashed that disarming smile again. And that, right there in the mall parking lot, was how their friendship began. From that very day, Kemi and Jide's love began to blossom like a hibiscus flower after early morning rain. It was slow, soft, sweet, and dangerously beautiful. Jide was the kind of man who knew how to walk his way straight into a woman's heart without even knocking. He didn't rush. He didn't force. He didn't pretend. He simply showed up in ways that made Kemi float. Every morning, without fail, Kemi would wake up to a message from him. "Good morning, beautiful. I hope today is kind to you." Just like that, her whole day would shine. Kemi would smile from her house to the taxi, from the taxi to Mama Shade's salon, smiling like a woman who stole honey from the gods. And then came the afternoon surprises. When it comes to Jide, prediction is useless. One day he would send flowers, another day lunch from a 5-star restaurant, another day bracelets, another day expensive perfumes. His driver would just pull up in front of Mama Shade's shop, honk once, and drop a cute package with Kemi's name written boldly on it. Kemi had never experienced this kind of sweetness in her entire life. She needed to see her face when she opened the boxes, cheeks raised, eyes sparkling, smiling like an overfed cat that had just swallowed milk and still wants more. Just thinking about Jide alone made her heart melt like butter inside hot yam. To her, he was perfect, really perfect. But the salon women, their spirit of suspicion was strong. It was Mama Shade who first noticed. Kemi, you are glowing these days, oh, she said loudly, eyeing the latest package. And with all these things you receive every day, there must be a man. Kemi, you are in love? The salon was full that afternoon, and Kemi felt all eyes on her. She looked down shyly, pretending she couldn't hear. Iatiti leaned forward. This man that is making you smile up and down. Hope you've used your spiritual eyes to check him out though. Kemi swallowed. His name is Jide, and I honestly think he's different. He really loves me, always checking up on me, surprising me. He makes me really, really happy. That was when Madame Brooker suddenly burst into laughter. Loud, strange, dramatic laughter, wiping tears from her eyes. Kemi looked at her shocked. See, Kemi, forget those things you are seeing now, Madame Brooker said, shaking her head. In fact, these gifts should make you more alert. You should fear men that appear too perfect. Exactly. Mama Mina, the chief storyteller of the salon, cleared her throat and sat properly like someone about to address the Senate. You see, my husband, she began, raising her voice proudly. When he was coming for me, that man would enter bush every day. He would hunt bush meats, fat ones, live ones, big ones. People kept telling me, Amina, you are lucky, you are lucky. I thought I had hit the jackpot. She paused dramatically, only for us to marry, and this man changed. Especially since we moved to the city, no more bushmeat. Kemi blinked. But Mama Mina, where do you expect him to get bushmeat in a city? She asked, already irritated by how everyone was dissecting her life like a lab practical. That's the point, Mama Mina snapped. You small girls, don't listen. It's not only bushmeat that stopped though. He doesn't pay attention to me again. All his focus is on the children. We quarrel more than cock crow in a day. If not for the way I handle him, he would have gone physical by now. But you know me now, I don't take nonsense. The other women nodded like she had just preached a sermon. You are lucky you have experienced people around you, someone else added. Prepare yourself, Kemi. Marriage is not a child's play. And from there, advice began to rain, unsolicited, unfiltered, unending. By evening, Kemi's head was pounding like a drum in a village festival. What should have been a day of butterflies and pure joy had turned into fear, doubt, and deep uncertainty. Kemi had never been this confused in her entire life. Her heart wanted one thing, her mind wanted another, and Mama Shade's salon had planted a whole forest of doubts inside her spirit. But the truth was simple. She loved this man deeply. She shared everything with her friend Emma, the only person whose words didn't come soaked in bitterness. Emma looked at her, sighed and shook her head dramatically. Kemi, my sister, please ignore those women. Why do you think it's only that caliber of women that visit Mama Shade's shop? Because Mama Shade herself is as bitter as they are. They all go there to spread sadness and fear. They are not okay at all. Kemi stared unsure. Emma continued, her voice softer now. There are good men out there. Not perfect though, so don't get me wrong, because even you are not perfect. But when I say good men, I mean good men. And this Jide you are talking about, from what I see, he loves you. Don't miss this chance. Your life won't be like theirs. Your marriage won't be like theirs. You've suffered enough. You deserve to be happy. These words set warmly in Kemi's chest. So she made a decision. She would give Jide a chance. But deep inside, she also prepared her mind for anything. She was ready. She wasn't going in blindly. And so their friendship continued. Soft, sweet, filled with romance, laughter, and thoughtful surprises. Every day with Jide felt like sunshine. Then, one perfect evening, After a slow dinner filled with candlelight and soft music, Jide reached across the table, took her hand and looked into her eyes. "Kemi," he said, his voice calm but shaky with emotion. "Will you marry me?" Her heart began to beat loudly, not normal beating, no, but talking drum rhythm. Fear shot through her chest like lightning. Suddenly, the voices of the salon women rushed back. "Kemi, men like that act sweet just to catch you. After wedding, you will enter full-time suffering. Kemi, open your eyes. Are you sure this is the real him?" Her breath trembled. Then slowly, another voice rose. Mma's calm, steady voice. "Kemi, this man really loves you." "Kemi," Jide called again, still kneeling. "Are you okay?" Kemi forced a quick smile, stretching her fingers towards him. Yes, I will marry you." But deep within, hidden behind her smile, she whispered another vow. "But I won't let you do to me what other men do to their women." The wedding came and went in a blur of music, rice, perfume, and too many aunties shouting blessings that sounded like commands. Kemi smiled through all of it, a bright, beautiful smile that fooled everyone. But inside her chest, fear sat like a stubborn tenant, refusing to leave. From the moment she stepped into Jide's house as his wife, her body told her to relax, but her mind whispered, "Open your eyes, don't be a mumu." Jide moved through the house with his usual gentle confidence, arranging things, laughing, humming, making small jokes. Kemi watched him closely, too closely. Not like a new bride admiring her husband, but like a CIA officer studying a criminal suspect. Every move he made registered somewhere in her brain like evidence. When he picked up his phone to check a message, she noted how fast he typed. When he smiled at something on the screen, she mentally bookmarked it, suspicious. When he stepped out to take a call, she counted how long he stayed outside. She told herself she was just being careful, just protecting herself. But the truth was that she was tense, stretched thin by all the stories she had allowed into her spirit. Jide didn't notice immediately. At first, he thought her quietness was just the usual new bride shyness thing. He moved around her affectionately, kissing her forehead, holding her waist lightly, asking her if she was comfortable. And Kemi would smile, but her smile never reached her eyes. At night, when he fell asleep, she would lie awake staring at the ceiling, thinking, all men start good. All men sweet talk you until they grab you. That's when true character shows. Sometimes she would sit up, look at his peaceful face and wonder, is this really the kind of man I think he is? Or will he change like the others? One night, she even gently lifted his phone and tiptoed into the bathroom with it. Her heart was beating like talking drum. She scrolled through his chats, checking names, messages, call logs. Nothing suspicious, nothing alarming. But fear does not need evidence to survive. It just grows by itself. She returned the phone exactly where she found it and lay down like someone who had just completed a dangerous mission. The next day, Jide woke up humming and kissed her cheek. "Good morning, my love," he said warmly. She smiled, but somewhere in the back of her mind, the salon voices whispered, "Don't let your guard down, don't be too soft." And that was how tension quietly entered their marriage. Not with a fight though, not with an argument, but with a fear Kemi carried like luggage she refused to drop. Jide still didn't understand what was wrong. He thought marriage would make her happier, more expressive, more relaxed, but Kemi was watching his every move, tracking every smile, questioning every harmless thing. The marriage had begun, but so had her silent battle. Slowly, quietly, Kemi began to change. Marriage was supposed to make everything sweeter, but whenever he turned around, he found Kemi watching him with narrowed eyes, like she was trying to decode his destiny through his behavior. The first incident happened barely 2 weeks into the marriage. Jide came home late, very late, not midnight late though, but late enough to make Kemi's heart jump. She had eaten alone that night, waited alone, sat by the window alone, checking the road like a neighborhood CCTV camera. When he finally opened the door, looking tired, and holding a small nylon of roasted plantain, he smiled at her. Baby, I'm so nobody heard the rest. Kemi jumped up dramatically. So, you now have evening activities, Abby? Is this how it starts? You think I don't know what men do when they start staying out late? Jide blinked. Kemi. It was traffic. Didn't you see the rain? Everywhere was blocked. That's what they all say, she hissed, pacing like a generator that refused to start. Jide stared at her, genuinely confused. But he brushed it aside and apologized. The next drama came 3 days later. They were walking past a food vendor who was cooking jollof rice in a giant pan under an umbrella. The aroma slapped Jide in the face. Wow, he said playfully. This jollof rice smells really good. That was it. Kemi stopped working. So, you don't prefer her cooking? Is it better than my own food? That's how it started, she asked slowly. No wahala. You can go and marry her since you prefer her cooking. Jide coughed. Baby, it's just a compliment. Jollof rice. But she had already powered up her anger like a rechargeable lantern. The third incident came when Jide suggested they start saving money. Kemi, there's this business my friend told me about and it's really promising. I'm thinking maybe we should reduce some expenses so we can invest in. Oh, she shouted, pointing at him without even allowing him finish. The worst part was that he wasn't even asking for her money. This is it, yes. This is how they start controlling women. Next thing, you will be telling me not to buy deodorant again. Jide stared, his mouth slightly open. Deodorant K. How did we get here? But the biggest comedy came when Jide received a phone call from his female colleague. A harmless call, a normal conversation, nothing suspicious. But Kemi, her mind had already reached Mount Kilimanjaro. So, she's the bush meat that replaced me, Abi, she snapped. Bush meat? Jide whispered, looking genuinely frightened. Yes, the bush meat. Is she the reason you've been smiling at your phone all day? Answer me. Jide gasped. Kemi, that's my colleague. She called about a meeting tomorrow. Oh, continue explaining, continue. I have heard it all before. From the outside, the scenes were hilarious, but inside their home, those small cracks were beginning to spread. Every smile Jide shared with someone outside, every phone call he took, every suggestion he made, every innocent action, Kemi's mind would always twist it into danger, preparing for a war that did not exist. Jide loved her, truly, but slowly her sweet laughter was turning into sharp suspicion, and the house was beginning to feel tighter, heavier, not because of fights, but because of the fear she carried like an invincible smoke. Jide didn't understand what was happening yet, and the storm was quietly gathering. Now, besties, if there was ever a man who genuinely loved a woman, it was Jide. He wasn't perfect, no human is, but he carried a softness that was rare. He was the type of man that made marriage feel like warm morning sunshine. He prepared surprise dishes for Kemi, real meals, not noodles. Sometimes he even grilled chicken. Because I know you like it slightly burnt, he would say to her. He assisted with house chores without being asked, did laundry with a smile, helped her fold her clothes on Sundays. He drove her to Mama Shade's salon so she wouldn't stress. He still bought her surprise gifts, perfumes, handbags, small treats, because that was who he was. Any woman would have danced barefoot at midnight to have such a husband. But Kemi's mind refused to rest. Every sweet gesture felt like a trap. Every kindness felt like acting. Every gift felt like a strategy. The salon voices refused to be silent. They echoed and echoed in her head like Nollywood soundtrack. Men are perfect at the beginning. Open your eyes. Don't fall for sweetness. And even though Jide loved her deeply, fear still twisted everything Kemi saw. One quiet evening, Jide sat beside her on the bed, touched her hand gently and asked Kemi, "What exactly are you afraid of?" His voice wasn't angry, it was just tired. Kemi sat up as if the question offended her spirit. "Nothing, no," she snapped. "I'm just being careful. It's better I'm careful than to be sorry." Jide stared at her, long, sad and helpless. "Kemi," he whispered, "we are supposed to be partners. I'm not your enemy. What exactly are you being careful for?" But her heart was a stubborn place that night. She folded her arms and turned her face away. He tried again the next morning, speaking calmly in the kitchen while washing plates. "Kemi, please talk to me. I feel like you are always waiting for me to fail or do something to you just to prove a point." She raised her chin and replied sharply, "I am protecting myself. You can't blame me for that." That was the moment something in Jide quietly shifted. He didn't shout anymore. He didn't argue. He didn't complain. He simply withdrew, slowly, quietly and painfully. He stopped joking like before, stopped teasing her playfully, stopped holding her at random moments, stopped sending her silly texts during the day. Not because he didn't love her anymore, but because he was exhausted. He began to move through the house differently, still kind, still responsible, still gentle, but quieter, more careful, more distant. Kemi felt it. Oh, she felt it sharply. The hugs were fewer, the laughs were shorter, the conversations were lighter, the warmth was dimming. She sensed he was slipping out of her hands, but instead of love pulling her closer, fear pushed her to cling harder. She questioned more, accused more, monitored more, trying to hold the marriage with force, not understanding that the more she squeezed, the more it slipped. The house began to carry a heaviness, not of shouting or chaos, but of silence. A silence that whispered that something precious was breaking. It happened on a sunny Wednesday afternoon, the kind of afternoon that should have been peaceful. Kemi was cleaning the bedroom when Jide's iPad buzzed on the table. Just one message. A name popped up, a woman's name. "Kemi, don't touch that phone. Be calm," her heart whispered. But her mind jumped like fire. She picked up the phone. The message preview was short, cut off, incomplete. He simply read, "Jide, don't forget I'm at your office and still waiting for you. We need to arrange." Arrange what? Waiting where? For who? Kemi didn't read further. Fear didn't allow her. Salon voices filled her ears like sirens. "This is how it starts. Men change after marriage. Open your eyes." Before she knew it, she was already dressing up, grabbing her bag and storming out of the house like a hurricane. She didn't call him, didn't ask questions, didn't breathe. She went straight to the address she knew he was at, his office. And that was where the drama unfolded. She burst into the building like an angry village masquerade. Receptionists jumped. People stared. One man even dropped his file in shock. "Kemi, good afternoon." "Where is he?" she barked. Before anyone could stop her, she marched into Jide's department, kicked the door open and found him sitting with a woman. A woman. Beautiful, soft-looking, smiling politely. That was all Kemi needed. "So, this is it," she screamed. "This is what you've been doing. This is why you come home late. This is the woman, this is the person you've been arranging with." The entire office froze. Jide stood up. "Kemi, what are you doing here?" "What am I doing here?" she shouted. "Ask your girlfriend now. Ask her what she is waiting for you for." The woman looked confused, embarrassed even. "Ma, I'm his cousin," she whispered gently. Kemi didn't believe a word. "Shut up. And don't you call me Ma. Do I look older than you? You think I didn't see the message you sent? You think you can deceive me? All of you are the same." Chide's colleagues were watching. Phones were recording. Someone whispered, "This one go viral." Chide's face slowly lost its color. Kemi, please, let's go outside. I won't go anywhere, she shouted. Talk to me here in front of everybody so they will know the truth about you. The room grew colder than Harmattan. Jide didn't shout, didn't argue, didn't defend himself. He simply walked to his desk, opened his laptop and clicked. Kemi, he said quietly, this is the email from my cousin. The one you saw. She is planning a surprise for your birthday next month. That was what she meant by we need to arrange. There was silence. Pure, heavy, painful silence. Kemi's hand dropped. Her throat dried. Her heart stuttered. People in the office looked at her with pity and shame. Her husband, her sweet, gentle husband, was planning something beautiful for her, and she had dragged him into public disgrace. Jide closed his laptop softly, not slamming it. Softly, like someone whose spirit had been cracked. He walked past her, didn't touch her, didn't look at her, didn't say a word. But it was a quietness that stabbed her, not anger, not insult, not shouting, just silence. The kind of silence that meant something inside him had been wounded deeply. He walked out of the office, hands in his pockets, shoulders heavy, like a man carrying heartbreak on his back. Kemi followed him trembling. Jide, I'm sorry, I didn't. Her voice was shaking, but he didn't turn, he just kept walking. That silence, that slow walk hurt her more than any slap or insult could ever hurt. The next few weeks in the house felt like living in a silent hell. It was not loud, it was not chaotic, just painfully quiet, the kind of quiet that squeezes your chest and drains your strength day by day. Jide was no longer the warm, cheerful man who woke her with good morning kisses. His face carried a sadness she had never seen before, a deep, quiet sadness, the kind that came from being hurt by someone you loved too much. Every morning he left the house without a word. No goodbye, no smile, no conversation. He would simply pick his keys, open the door and vanish into the world. Sometimes he returned home late, other nights closer to midnight, still quiet, tired and hurting. Yet, even in that wounded silence, he didn't stop caring for her safety. Every morning, the driver still arrived to take her to work. Every evening, the driver still returned her home, but Jide himself, he remained a shadow that passed through the house like wind. Kemi was losing her mind. She had begged on her knees, begged with tears, begged with apologies, begged with her voice cracked. But Jide's heart was too bruised to speak. They had been married for barely 6 months, and everything was already crumbling before her eyes. One afternoon, at the salon, Mama Shade noticed her coldness. Kemi, what is wrong with you? You look like someone that lost her destiny. Kemi hesitated, but desperation pushed her. She shared a little, hoping for guidance, just a small part of the story. But that was the worst mistake she could have made. Mama Shade's eyes widened like she just discovered a new gist. And I hope you are not blaming yourself, my dear. This will teach him that you are not a woman to be messed with. Kemi blinked, confused. Who even knows if he's cheating? Mama Shade continued. Yes, maybe this is the opportunity he has been waiting for. 2 weeks, he has not been talking to you. Ha! This one is small, oh. Me and my husband, we fight for months. Kemi's jaw dropped. But Mama Shade didn't stop. Don't worry. When that thing starts hungering him, he will come back crawling. Men are like that. That day, Kemi felt like her head would explode. This woman wasn't helping her, she was killing her. Every word made the pain worse. Every sentence added another stone to her heart. Kemi left the salon shaking. By evening, she went to see Mma, the only person whose advice came from love. The moment she stepped in, she burst into tears. She cried like a wounded child, heavy, messy sobs that shook her whole body. Mma held her and rocked her gently. Kemi, breathe, breathe. What happened? Through tears, she explained everything. The phone message, The misunderstanding, the public embarrassment, Jide's withdrawal, Mama Shade's words. Mama listened with her whole heart. And when Kemi finished, Mama delivered the truth like a hot slap. Kemi, she said quietly, the monster you feared, you created it yourself. Kemi froze. Mama continued, her voice soft but piercing. I told you, I warned you. You treated Jide like he was guilty before he even had a chance. You judged him with the sins of men he never met. You let those women poison you. You didn't give your own husband a chance to show you who he really is. Kemi pressed her palms to her chest. The truth hurt too much, but she needed it. She remembered every single moment she accused him wrongly, every suspicion, every overreaction, every unnecessary fight, every time she ignored his sweetness and chose fear. She remembered the public scene, how people stared, how Jide's shoulders dropped, how shame spread on his face. Her heart sank into her stomach. Later that night, she returned home quietly. The house was dark, silent. She tiptoed to the living room. There on the couch sat Jide, his head bowed, hands clasped together, his shoulders trembling. And then she heard it, his voice soft, breaking, praying, God, please, take this pain away from my chest. I wanted a peaceful marriage. I wanted to be a loving husband to my wife. I don't know what I did wrong. I have tried to love her well. I don't want to lose my home. I don't want to lose my sanity too. A sharp pain stabbed her heart. This man, the man she tormented, was sitting alone, praying for their marriage. Not sleeping, not cheating, not planning wickedness, but praying for her, for them. That was the moment Kemi broke completely. Everything inside her melted. The stubbornness, the fear, the bitterness she borrowed, the nonsense advice, the wrong assumptions. She sank to her knees, covering her mouth. Her mother's trauma wasn't her story. The salon women's bitterness was not her destiny. And Jide wasn't the man she feared. She had never given him the chance to show her who he truly was. And now, she wasn't sure if she still deserved him. But she knew one thing. If she didn't change, she would lose the sweetest man God had ever blessed her with. Kemi stayed kneeling on the floor for a long time, watching the man she had hurt pray for the home she almost destroyed. Every tear that dropped from Jide's eyes pierced her like a blade. She had never felt that kind of shame before, not the shame of being caught doing something wrong, but the shame of realizing she wounded someone who only ever tried to love her. When Jide finally wiped his tears and rose to his feet, he turned and almost stumbled when he saw her on her knees. Her face was wet, her eyes were red, her hands trembled like leaves shaken by harmattan breeze. He didn't say a word, he just stared. Kemi crawled closer, her voice barely loud enough to exist. Jide, please, forgive me. He closed his eyes like her words carried weight he wasn't ready to lift. She held his hand with both of hers and pressed her forehead to it. I am sorry. I am really, truly sorry. I didn't trust you. I didn't listen. I didn't even give you the chance to show me who you really are. I let fear control me. I let other women's pain become my own. I hurt you. I embarrassed you. I broke your heart and broke this home. Please. Please forgive me. Her voice cracked and tears poured harder. I know I'm not making excuses. I did wrong, very wrong. You deserve better. You're a good man, Jide. You tried. You loved me. You cared for me. You protected me. And I repaid you with suspicion and foolishness. I am begging you, forgive me. Please, give me a chance to love you the way you deserve. Jide sat slowly on the couch, his eyes soft but heavy. He didn't rush to answer, he didn't shout. He only looked at her with a quiet pain that made her bow her head again. Kemi, he finally said, You hurt me. She nodded immediately. I know I did. You made me feel like no matter what I did, it would never be enough. Her tears dropped faster. I see it now. You treated me like someone waiting to destroy you, when all I ever wanted was to build something with you. Kemi sobbed harder. I'm sorry. Silence filled the room again, but this time it wasn't the sharp, cold silence of anger. It was a softer silence, a silence that allowed truth to breathe. Jide sighed deeply and pulled her into a gentle embrace. She cried into his chest, shaking. He held her quietly, one hand on her back, the other on her hair. After a while, he spoke again. Kemi, I love you. I married you because I wanted you. I cannot fight what I don't understand. You have to tell me what you are afraid of, not fight me, not suspect me. You can talk to me. For the first time, Kemi opened her heart completely. She told him everything. Her mother's sadness, her father's abandonment, the stories at Mama Sade's salon, the warnings, the fear, the belief that sweetness was only a trap. She confessed how the fear had eaten her until she could no longer see the good in anything. Jide listened. He didn't interrupt or roll his eyes. He didn't say she was dramatic. He simply listened, the way a man listens when he truly wants to understand the woman he loves. When she finished, he cupped her face. Kemi, you are not your mother. I am not your father. Our marriage is not those women's marriage. You must trust what we are building, not what you fear could happen. Something melted inside her, something tight and painful loosened. And that was how the healing began. She started small, speaking instead of assuming, asking instead of accusing, listening instead of attacking. When fear whispered nonsense, she paused and reminded herself that Jide was not an enemy. When old triggers rose, she breathed through them. She learned to tell him when she felt insecure, instead of pretending she was fine and erupting later. And Jide, seeing her efforts, softened again. He began to joke with her like before. He held her more often. He prayed with her. He reassured her gently. He helped her feel safe without making her feel foolish. Slowly, beautifully, their home warmed again. Laughter returned, warmth returned, love returned. The house felt alive, sweet, peaceful. No more silent hell, no more walking on broken glass. Their marriage became sweeter than it had ever been. Not because it was perfect, but because love had finally taught them something important. A home survives where trust lives, and peace grows where fear is finally laid to rest. So peace began to settle in Kemi's heart like morning dew, settling gently on fresh leaves. She no longer woke with fear, no longer stood guard like a watchman at the gate of her own marriage. The tension that once stood between them slowly melted, replaced by a refreshing softness that made their home feel new again. The biggest change came the day she sat alone in Mama Sade's shop. The same salon where her fears were planted, the same environment where women gathered to pour bitterness into fresh minds. As she listened to their usual conversations that day, she felt something shift inside her. The gossip sounded louder, the bitterness sounded heavier, the laughter sounded fake, and she knew deep inside that this place was choking her spirit. When Mama Sade asked her to plait a customer's hair, Kemi removed her apron slowly. Mama Sade, she said with a calm voice, I want to resign. The entire salon froze. What are you saying, Kemi? Are you okay? Did Jide tell you something? Is it forcing you to leave your work? Kemi, talk, oh, let's help you. Mama Sade rushed towards her. Kemi simply smiled. No, Mama Sade, this is my decision. I love you. I appreciate everything you did for me. But this environment is not good for my mental health or my home. I want to be married and stay married, so I'm going. Women gasped. Whispers began to rise. Some looked confused, others impressed. Mama Sade held her hand. Kemi, please don't leave. You're my best hand. Stay now. We can talk about it, please. But Kemi knew that staying meant going backward. She gently removed her hand from Mama Sade's and said, I need to build my life differently. I need peace. I need growth. I need to choose myself. Then she walked out, and for the first time, she felt free. When she got home and told Jide, something warm glowed in his eyes. He didn't scold her for staying too long before. He didn't lecture her. He simply hugged her tight and whispered, I am proud of you. Weeks later, he surprised her with something she never imagined, a brand new salon. Not a small one, not a corner shop, a massive modern sparkling salon, right in the heart of the city, with mirrors that shone like diamonds, chairs that looked like thrones, and enough space for her to run the business of her dreams. When he handed her the keys, she broke into tears. He wiped her face with his thumb and smiled. You've always been gifted, Kemi. It's time the world sees it. Kemi flourished. Clients flocked in. Her braiding skill became the talk of the city. Her salon became a beauty landmark. Her confidence blossomed. Her kindness returned. And love flowed between her and Jide like water that never runs dry. Sometimes, the gossip women from Mama Sade's shop came to check on her success. They would stand at the entrance of her big salon, hands on their waists, eyes wide with shock. Kemi would smile at them politely and continue her work, calm, glowing and fulfilled. She no longer needed their approval. She no longer needed their stories. She no longer followed their bitterness. She walked in her own light now. Every day she woke up beside Jide. She understood something clearly. Fear almost stole what God meant for her happiness. But love, true love, had rescued her. And so she learned the greatest lesson of her life. Don't borrow bitterness to build a home. Fear destroys even the good things God gives you. Love thrives where trust lives. And with that lesson buried deep in her heart, Kemi stepped into the next chapter of her life, glowing, growing, and finally genuinely happy. Hey besties, we've come to the end of this amazing story, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it. I would love you to share your thoughts in the comment section. And if you enjoy our stories but you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please do not skip this video without hitting on the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so that you get notified whenever we post new stories. Thank you so much for all your love, your support. They mean so much to me. Right now, I have to go and see you in our next story. Bye!
Gather round the fire, children, and all. Come hear a tale that's yet to be told. Epic tales by Mara's voice, of tricksters, queens, and lovers' joy, where trees can talk and spirits roam, and every